Oh, good. I'm glad that recording is in progress. Um, so there you are. You're moving like that with the hammer, and you really don't want to bend the nail. So there's a big motivation for coming straight down with that hammer. And so that keeps you right in that plane because anytime your hand is going away from the strings, then that's kind of wasted motion. And well, for me, trying to, I can't just turn my wrist, so I kind of have to do my whole arm a little bit. Uh, and I'm giving you all of this speech, and then there are great players who do it entirely different. So uh, now another analogy with using the hammer is that when we pound a nail, it's not like we're using our strength like this to pound that nail. Instead, we're letting the head of the hammer, the weight, do the work. We're guiding it, but so you can use the weight of your hand to be able to give you ability to strike. But it's because I'm giving a flick of the wrist, not because I'm, you know, putting muscle into it exactly. It's more, um, let's see, I have a little more on this uh, sort of presentation, which is holding the pick. Now, you don't want tension because a minute is way longer than you think, and songs are usually about like 3 minutes. So you don't want to have to be tensed up for 3 minutes. Uh, one thing that makes makes it more tense is if you're holding the pick, kind of. Can everybody see what I'm demonstrating here? I have a lot of pick sticking out, and so then I have to hold onto it because I'm hitting the string and it's going by and it wants to go like that, and then I have to grab harder, and then my it's just tenses up. Uh, so I try and hold the pick uh, really close in. Uh, it I've kind of making a shelf, and different people have different proportions of their thumb and their finger. Mine is kind of bigger thumb compared to the finger, so I can make. Can everybody see what I'm doing there? I'm making kind of a cross, uh, and then I'm laying my pick on top of the side of my finger, and then there's the thumb like that. But you might different finger people. If you had a longer finger, you might be doing something more like that. But it's really the same principle, and you'd be very surprised how little tension it takes to maintain control to retain control of the pick. It's there's enough. I don't know our little lines on our flesh and a tiny bit of sweat and stuff. You can you can put the pick like that, and then you can still be holding it. And I'm pulling my thumb and my finger apart, and see I'd have to really pull it far apart before it would fall out. Uh, so
Can you turn it to face the other way because it's hard to see when it's on the edge like
Oh,
that.
I'm sorry.
That's
Uh,
that's all right. I mean
so
that's good too,
you
but
don't want to, do you want
but
to see it this way?
no.
You, you do.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
That way.
that's smart. Okay.
Thank you.
So well, let me just come over here.
I mean it's good to have
Uh,
both perspectives.
no, you're absolutely right. Uh, so is that helpful?
Yes. Well,
Okay.
yes. And can you tilt it down a little bit more? Um,
Like this?
yeah. So we can see how much is covering, how much your thumb is covering.
Oh, sure, like this.
Well, not quite that much.
Like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, like
Oh,
that.
okay.
Thank you.
So, oops, oh, I dropped it.
Oh, wow. Sorry.
I spoiled my demo.
It's a comedy act.
So anyway, that's kind of most of what I have to say about that. But it's you can kind of transition from playing rhythm to um, playing melodic stuff because well, in certain keys, your main melody notes lie under your fingers, and the key of C is kind of the best one. And if you guys have heard the Carter family, Maybelle Carter played a lot out of C position, and if she needed to be in a higher key, she would capo. Now she would also play a lot in F position, because if you're doing a song that doesn't have a four chord, it's just one and five, like Single Girl. And so if you played that, if the singer wanted it to be in C, then they could. Uh, the C position has a lot of advantages. In certain ways, the guitar evolved uh, to play in C. C is the key where the entire scale is all in first position under your fingers. And on down. So playing melodies, the key of C is a good place to start because it can be a lot less awkward than finding the melody in other keys. My other thing about the guitar that I kind of figured out is I think it evolved to accompany the male human voice because that low E is about as low as a lot of guys like us could get, sort of. And is kind of, for me anyway, is, that's sort of pushing the range. There are a lot of people, a lot of guys who are blessed with higher or lower ranges, but typically that's so. Uh, so that's that. You want to learn something that's a Carter family song that's in this position? What do you think? Let's see some thumbs up. Okay. This is one of my favorites, and it's called Sad and Lonesome Day. Oh, there's one other thing I wanted to say about Maybelle Carter's guitar playing is that Carter family music in general is that because Maybelle and Sarah had rather low voices for girls, uh, but it was so nice for the guitar to play out of C position. Uh, they tuned their guitars a whole step and a half low. So, uh, let's see, how do we say? Oh, so that note was really an A, etc. That note was really an E. That was the pitch that was coming out. So, if you decide, oh, I'm going to figure out some of these Carter family songs, you might start with the one that really gives it away, which is Wildwood Flower. Uh, Wildwood Flower, you listen to the record, and it's A, and, you know, just, it's not there, not like, so just that's a clue. Let's see, but the one I want to do is Sad and Lonesome Day. It's kind of like a little bluesy song. 'Today has been a lonesome day. Today has been a lonesome day. Today has been a lonesome day, and it seems tomorrow'll be the same old way. Did you ever hear a church bell tone? Did you ever hear a church bell tone? Did you ever hear a church bell tone? You'll know by that she's dead and gone. So, Maybelle didn't play with a flat pick. Well, she did play with the flat pick. She actually, but she mostly played with the thumb pick. But at a workshop, the Carter family began recording in the 1930s, I believe. I don't think they were in the 20s. But Maybell kept active with music into the into the 60s, maybe the 70s. And so Maybell was invited and came to a number of folk festivals, and there used to be a big folk event on the Nation's Mall, sponsored by the Smithsonian. We're probably not going to see any more of that kind of stuff, especially from these dangerous liberals. But anyway, I was at a workshop that Maybell gave, and at the end, after it was done, I went over and talked to her, and I said, "Well, Maybell, did you use a thumb pick, or there's some of the things you play, it sounds like you're flat picking," and she said, "Well, just whatever was handy." And so, okay. So one of the ways that Maybell articulated her melody notes was not by going back and forth picking notes, but instead using a technique of what we call hammering on, where you're striking an open string and then bringing your finger down to sound the next note. So our little break there started that way. And you notice I'm using my first finger as an anchor so that I have something to move against with this finger. It's like not, which you don't have as much strength. So then the other kind of corollary technique is what's called pulling off. And so you're grabbing the string with the flesh of your finger here, and of course, if you have a callus there, then you can, push down the string into that callus and get a hold of it. And so it's pulling off, or I thinking it's kind of like you really kind of pluck, because you could actually do that motion without having hit the first. I mean, the typical way is but really here I'm combining with hitting the note with this, But what's really making the sound of the new note is that that's what's introducing that new note, is you have a hold of the string and you're pulling over. And sometimes people do it in the other direction too. Now, I don't do as well with that. I do better with. However, for a while, I just thought, oh, my way is better. Well, then I was watching videos on YouTube of Earl Scruggs playing. Earl Scruggs mostly played the banjo, as we know, but he also was a marvelous guitar player, and he loved Maybell's playing, and he was a great exponent of Maybell's guitar playing, and sometimes, that would be a featured thing in the Flat and Scruggs show that Earl would play something that Maybell played, and then they did Jimmy Brown the Newsboy. But sometimes Earl would just play a medley of Carter Family songs. And so I watched Earl doing that, you know, pulling off, going like that, pushing that way, and it sounded pretty good. So then I decided, okay, if Earl can do it the other way, I guess it's okay. Um, anyway, let's work on our song because we want to. Gosh, yeah, we better work really fast. Is that right? Is are we coming right up on our time? My things here says,
At 26 minutes.
oh, okay. What I'm getting here is not it. Okay, we have plenty of time. Good. Um, so I'm going to play our break again, and then we'll break it down. Couple more. Okay. So we're starting out with the combination of that hammer on and then the pull off that we were talking. So we're hammering on fourth string, middle finger at the second fret. So, like I said, I'm holding that one down, but I'm not holding this part of the C chord down while I do that move. In other words, I'm not. See, if I were just holding the C position. Oops, I don't even do it, but. There's a bunch of drawbacks to that. One is you just don't have as much strength to make it the hammer down. If you're like this, it's just the finger. So that's a lot less power. Here you're moving all your fingers, and that's getting it down, and this it's just that one finger trying to do all the work. And then another kind of theory I have about that is that if you're holding a note that's part of the chord lower than the melody note you're playing, it's gonna react. The harmonics are going to react with that, and to my ear it makes a thicker sound to have that, whereas if the other strings that will ring sympathetically, because they do, I mean, you can hear the. Oops, that was. Oops, I'm not doing a good demo. You can just hear it kind of clear up down there. So anyway, that's all a good excuse for making it easy. So we're going to start out with a hammer-on that E note on the fourth string, followed directly by a pull-off. So I'm going to do that way slow, and we'll try and do it. Let's see if I can do it. Any questions about that part of it? Don't all speak at once. Great. Okay, I'm delighted. Okay, now things get easier for a while. So now we're headed for the 5 chord, the G chord, and well, another thing about playing in this style is that you want to think of playing your G chord in this position. Now, not going. That'll make the whole deal a lot more work and less graceful. In point of fact, Maybelle did not make a G chord like that in these kind of situations. She didn't use her pinky to get that high G note. She routinely actually played a G7 so that her first finger was playing that F note, and that's kind of a distinctive sound of Maybelle's guitar playing that it took me a long time to kind of pick up on, and then I realized, oh, that's a certain part of her sound that it's like it's there, and so having that 7 note, it makes it's called a dominant 7th because it's called a dominant 7th because it's built on the it's like tonic, dominant, subdominant. Tonic is the 1 chord, dominant is the 5 chord, subdominant is the 4 chord. So when they talk about a dominant 7th chord, they mean that if you go up the scale, then in going up the C scale, 5, 6, let's see, 1, oh yeah, sorry, in G, 1, 3, 5, 7. But we're getting that note up there, but it's the F note. Anyway, I wouldn't actually be trying to play that while I was playing the melodic stuff, but I'd be staying in this position with my fingers so that I didn't have to make any motions. So we'll do the lick we did in the C chord, then that B note is part of the 5 chord. Now the G is part of the 5 chord, the G chord. That F note is that dominant note, and then we'll pull off so where it fits in is and if we think about the melody of the song, today has been a lonesome day. Today has been a lonesome day. You see how Maybelle has added notes between the sung melody notes to make it just kind of a more graceful, interesting kind of statement. That's the melody, but it's just giving us notes in between the sung melody notes to make it more of a line of music. So the part we need to practice now is the B note there, up to the 3rd string on that open G, the F note on the 4th string, and then our same pull off right. So we have a jump of 2 strings there. So let's put those two together. Is that okay? Okay, that nice, and I'll try and make it nice and slow. It's easier to just, oh well, let's just get up with it, but we want to keep it nice and slow. A 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a we see we can fill it in with doing our rhythm strumming, and I'm going, and then my coming down and getting the low G note. Okay, here we go. A 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a even slower. Couple more. Last time. Okay.
So Eric, we got about 10 minutes left, so you might want to
Okay. Gotta
wind
move
down.
right along. Okay, well that's easy because uh we only have to learn one more line because we've got this, because our whole break is same thing. Fourth line, same as the first. And this next part is actually easier. So we have there just one hammer. So it's right under your fingers in the F chord. And you could hammer that if you want. Back to the C chord. And then a pull off. Oh, sorry, it's a hammer. Right. Hammer. Let's do that a little more. Up to the F. Okay, oh, and I want to say one little thing about that repeat of that line, of the second line as the third line. Now, when we sang, actually there was a different melody there. In other words, today has been a lonesome day. Today has been a lonesome day. Today has been a lonesome day. Well, sung, that's really cool. Instrumentally, it's okay, but it's a little jarring. So see here. See, that's like, I actually think it sounds great, but it's a little outre, it is like, so, you know, maybe I'll just edit it, did what was natural, and I'm sure she didn't consciously think about that. That's just, what came out, because uh, brilliant musician, and I mean, I can't think of a single thing that Maybell ever played that was not in the best of taste. So, not really choice. So let's just. How many minutes do we have now? Probably about three.
7 to the end of class, but you should stop to take some questions like in a couple of minutes.
Uh, okay, let's just play it two or three times, and then I'll stop and answer questions. So, well, we better play it fast so we get it over with. Let's play it about a one and a two and a three and a four and a. Let's think about the song for a second. Today has been a lonesome day. Today has been a lonesome day. Today has been a lonesome day. And it seems tomorrow will be the same old way. And that's another cool thing. She goes to the five chord in the singing earlier than you would expect. So, today has been a lonesome day. Today has been a lonesome day. Today has been a lonesome day. And it seems tomorrow will be the same old way. Okay, once more through our break, and then we'll take questions. A one and a two and a three and a four and a. Okay, question.
Well, a while back, somebody asked, what's the difference between a pull off and a bend? He said, it seems as you're doing a slight bend when you're doing the pull off. You have anything?
A slight bend. Well, you mean changing the pitch?
Yeah, I'm not sure what he meant.
Okay.
Maybe
Well, I mean,
causing.
when I think of bends on the guitar, uh, I think of well, a really classic bend on the guitar is the blues bend, and that bend is uh, to get to where the true blues note is, because the true note that's in the blues, it's like if you think of spoonful, it's not that spoonful, it's that spoonful. It's halfway between and there. And that note is more pure in the overtone series. The tempered scale is a mixed blessing, because it's a compromise. It's everything is a little bit off, but it equalizes things. Bach and his gang figured out the tempered scale because if you're going to have a concert and you've got your harpsichord all tuned, so it's all completely sweet for this key of this whole piece that you're going to play. Well, that's great, but then they want to have a different piece of music in the second half of the show in a different key, and well, it just doesn't work out. It's all really, really sour. And so they decided, okay, if we temper the scale, if we, adjust the pitches, like they adjust the do re mi, mi is a little sharp. The distance between a fifth is reduced. It's like a little flat of the true notes. So that's the blues bend, like the beginning of me and my chauffeur. Now the other bends that uh, really became more in vogue in kind of the rock and roll era of electric guitar is a whole step bend. Think Duane Allman, or Eric Clapton, or people like that. And then the other kind of thing with bends is a pre-bend. So if you've done bends up a lot of times, then your hand kind of subconsciously absorbs how much tension it takes to make that higher pitch. And then, you know, th- this developed in my playing, but I don't think I ever really consciously tried to figure it out. But so you see, I can go, oops, do it right. So, see, so I've got it so I can be up there without having hit anything. And see, that would be the same note. So, and so you can bend up. And right in the middle of the neck is the easiest place to do this because, the tension is equalized. Down here, it's a lot harder. Any other questions?
Is that your 1943 guitar, or is that a different guitar?
Uh, this is not my famous 1943 Martin guitar, but in fact, it is, I believe, for Gibson. You'll see that it's so-called Banner Gibson because it has a little banner that says only a Gibson is good enough. And the interesting thing about